Hey everybody, this is Carson Clutie doing a final assignment for this class. I'm doing a reflection over our major project, but also the class as a whole. First of all, to begin, I want to say thanks to everybody. This was my first class in this program, and I think it was a success for me at least. I appreciate everybody's collaboration and contribution to my work and allowing me the opportunity to look at other people's work as well. I think the class was set up nicely, and I hope future classes in this program have the same benefit as this. All right, so I think the this project, assignment 6, but also the class as a whole, was kind of centered around the ISTE standard for educators, number 5, which was designer, and this said it allowed or teachers would create a personalized learning experience for their students, and I believe that's what this assignment really did. So how I met the objectives in this class, but specifically this project, was I began with the end in mind. Assignment 1 was very beneficial because it allowed me to get an outline of where I was headed with my project. I think I can take this to the classroom in that knowing that before a unit or before a lesson, um, I need to start with where kids should end up and then build back from there. So one thing I did and will continue to do with my students is look at the rubric. I think looking at that from the beginning and then periodically referring back to that as I worked on this project, it allowed me to feel a lot more comfortable with my final project, and I do feel like I did a good job with it. Now, it also was beneficial to work with toward the final project in the other assignments. I did not use every assignment in the final project, but for example, I used the animation using Powtoon in my final project. It was nice because knowing I could work up to my final project made it a lot more laid back when it came to this final week. I did not feel stressed. I felt that I could pull from some other things that I had created to create my final project. Also, something that helped me meet the objectives is the collaboration with my classmates, using my classmates' ideas through shared comments and things like that. I was able to have a deeper appreciation for some of the things that they created, as well as clarify some things that I created and helped refine our projects where I feel that they're a higher degree than if we had not collaborated. Um, Now, onto a reflection of the project and the process. I think, again, it was beneficial to plan ahead. It was important to know the directions and objectives. So I'm going to take that to my class and always remember that before, and I know I just said this, but before we begin a unit, if I can tell my students specifically what objectives we're going to meet, I believe they'll get more out of my class. Um, so the process was made easier, and I think we all came up with a better end product because we had the rubric and because we had to plan ahead. Over here on the right, this picture that I have, that is part of my planning ahead. That is the video of my Powtoon that's embedded into my Google site, which I made as my final project. Um, that is an example of me planning ahead and not out of anything I did, but because those were the directions, so that I could use that in my final project. Um, this project is an example of modern pedagogy, which is that a teacher acts more as a facilitator. The teacher still plays a vital and crucial role in the classroom, but it's just different than it was even 10 years ago, and especially beyond that. Um, in my project and in this class as a whole, students choose. They choose uh, in my assignment, they choose the path that they want to take, which allows them to be invested in their learning. And they also have options for presentations. They don't have to do a PowerPoint. They don't have to do a poster. They can if they want, but they get to choose. So if there's a website that they're familiar with or another creation tool, they are free to use that. And it's as I have been saying, it's very beneficial for students to know expectations before we even get started. And a few of the takeaways here, I'll finish up. Um, First of all, the new technologies we were able to explore in this class, paired with a prepper pedagogy, allows me to be a better teacher because it is student-centered and problem-based in the students' learning. When they're actively engaged and challenged, not by necessarily what I create, but their own challenges and their own ideas, they're able to have a deeper understanding of the material. And I think I'm going to take away from this class, and I'm going to attempt to fulfill at least one ISTE standard every day in my class. I even want to put them into lesson plans so that maybe my principal can hold me accountable, um, just so that I know that I'm having, these 21st century skills that I'm allowing my students to create, allowing my students to explore. Um, so with all of that said, thanks again for a great class. I hope to work with many of you in future classes. And those that I don't, I appreciate your time and again, the opportunity for us to work together. Thank you.